Welcome to Double Your Vocabulary, the podcast that helps you speak English like a pro.
I'm Ernesto and I'm Iris, joined by our furry co-host, Spody the Schnauzer, always ready to lend an ear.
Today, we're diving into the art of small talk at a party, a skill that can truly boost your confidence in social settings.
We know how tricky it can be to start conversations, especially when you're meeting new people.
That's why we've put together some real-life party scenarios for you.
We'll be simulating 3 different situations where you might find yourself needing to strike up a friendly chat.
Pay close attention to the phrases we use, because they're perfect for breaking the ice and keeping the conversation flowing.
We'll show you how to start, maintain, and even politely wrap up a brief chat with ease. Let's jump into the practice samples.
Okay, for our first situation, imagine you're at a friend's house party, and you spot someone you haven't met before.
I'll be the new person, and you're the one making the approach. Go for it, Iris.
Hi there, I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting. I'm Iris.
Nice to meet you, Iris. I'm Ernesto. Are you a friend of Mark's, the host?
Yes, I know Mark from way back, college days, actually. How about you? How do you know him?
We actually work together. He's a great guy to have around, always full of positive energy.
He really is. This is quite a turnout tonight. Have you had a chance to try the appetizers?
Not yet, but they look fantastic. I was just about to grab a drink. Can I get you anything from the bar?
That's very kind of you. I'm good for now, thanks. I hope you enjoy the rest of the party.
You too, Iris. It was good talking with you.
All right, for our second practice sample, let's say we're both standing near the snack table, grabbing some refreshments.
Perfect. This time I'll start the conversation. Here we go. Wow, these mini quiches look incredible. Have you tried them yet?
Oh, absolutely. They're delicious, a real crowd pleaser. I think they have some sun-dried tomatoes in them.
Sun-dried tomatoes, really? That's an interesting touch. I'm always on the lookout for good party food ideas.
Me too. Are you much of a cook yourself, or do you mostly enjoy other people's creations?
I dabble a bit, mostly grilling in the summer. Nothing too fancy, though. What about you?
I love baking, especially desserts. It's a fun way to unwind after a busy week.
Baking sounds great. Well, I'm going to grab a few more of these quiches before they're all gone. It was nice chatting with you.
You too. Enjoy the rest of your evening. For our third scenario, imagine you overhear someone talking about a topic you're really interested in.
I'll be talking about my trip to Italy, and you can chime in. Go ahead, Iris.
Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear you mentioning Italy. I just got back from a trip there myself.
Oh, really? That's wonderful. Which parts did you visit? I was just talking about my adventures in Tuscany.
Tuscany is gorgeous. I spent a week exploring Florence and then headed south to the Amalfi Coast. It was absolutely breathtaking.
The Amalfi Coast is on my list for next time. What was your favorite part of the trip?
Definitely the food. Every meal was a culinary delight. I'm still dreaming about the pasta. Have you been to Italy before?
A couple of times. I'm a big fan of their history and art. This place has a great atmosphere tonight, doesn't it?
It really does. The music is fantastic. It was a pleasure chatting with you about our travels.
Likewise, Iris. Maybe we'll run into each other again.
Wow, those were 3 solid examples, Ernesto. I hope everyone picked up on some key phrases.
Absolutely, Iris. In the first sample, you started with a simple, direct greeting. Hi there, I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting.
Exactly. It's polite, clear, and opens the door for the other person to introduce themselves. Then, asking how do you know him is a natural follow-up.
That question is gold. It helps you find common ground right away because you both know the host.
And commenting on the party itself, like, this is quite a turnout tonight, or have you had a chance to try the appetizers, is always a safe bet.
It keeps the conversation light and friendly, giving you more to talk about, like food or the general vibe.
Moving to the second sample, where we were by the snacks, using the food or drink as an opener is super common.
Yes, wow, these look incredible. Have you tried them yet? Is perfect. It's an observation and a question rolled into one.
And then, asking, are you much of a cook yourself? Immediately shifts it to a personal level without being too intrusive.
It helps you discover shared interests, like our discussion about grilling versus baking. It makes the chat more engaging.
Finally, in our third simulation, that polite interruption, "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear," is a fantastic way to join a conversation.
It shows you're engaged and interested in what they're saying. Then, linking it to your own experience, like, "I just got back from a trip there myself," creates an instant connection.
Exactly. Asking which parts did you visit, or what was your favorite part, shows genuine curiosity and keeps the focus on them.
And when you're ready to move on, phrases like, "It was a pleasure chatting with you," or "It was good talking with you," are simple and polite exits.
Absolutely. Small talk isn't about deep discussions. It's about making a connection and showing you're approachable.
These common expressions can really help you navigate party conversations smoothly and confidently.
And it's those simple, genuine closing remarks that really leave a good impression, don't they?
They absolutely do. Think of them as soft landings for a short chat. It shows respect and friendliness.
Let's break down a few more of these moments from our simulations, giving you some shortcuts to sound even more natural.
First, in our opening scenario, Iris, you used, "I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting." That's a classic polite opener.
It sets a welcoming tone, acknowledging you're both in the same space but haven't connected yet. A quicker version might simply be, "Hi, I'm Iris. Are you a friend of Mark's?"
Exactly, and then asking, "How do you know him?" is a brilliant move because it instantly gives you common ground to explore.
It's a low-pressure question that invites the other person to share a little about themselves without getting too personal right away.
Then mentioning, "This is quite a turnout tonight," or "Have you had a chance to try the appetizers?" shifts the focus to the environment. It's a safe and easy observation.
Observations like that are fantastic because everyone at the party can relate to them. It keeps the energy light.
Moving to our snack table chat, my opener, "Wow, these mini quiches look incredible. Have you tried them yet?" is all about using what's around you.
That's a real everyday shortcut. Comment on the food, the drink, the music, anything shared. Then, add a simple question to invite a response.
And your follow-up, "Are you much of a cook yourself?" subtly moves the conversation from the food itself to a personal interest, but in a very gentle way.
It finds out if there's a shared hobby, like our chat about baking and grilling. That's how small talk builds a bit of connection.
Finally, the Italy conversation demonstrates how to join a chat politely. "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear you mentioning Italy."
That phrase, "I couldn't help but overhear," is super useful. It acknowledges you heard something, but it's not eavesdropping. It's an invitation to connect.
And then immediately connecting it to your own experience. "I just got back from a trip there myself," makes it clear you have a reason to chime in.
It creates instant common ground and makes the person feel like you're genuinely interested, rather than just butting in.
Asking, "Which parts did you visit?" or "What was your favorite part?" keeps the focus on their story, showing real curiosity.
It's all about creating an easy, comfortable flow. Now, let's see how some of these useful phrases work in different daily situations beyond a party.
That's a great idea, Iris. These aren't just for social gatherings. Take, "I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting."
Absolutely. Imagine you're at a work conference. You could say to someone at the coffee station, "Hi, I'm Iris. I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting." It's perfect for a professional setting.
Or even at a school event like a parent-teacher night. "Excuse me, I'm Ernesto, John's dad. I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting," works smoothly.
Another great phrase, "Have you had a chance to try the item?" This is super versatile. At work, seeing a new snack in the break room, "Have you had a chance to try these new cookies?"
Exactly, or even at a grocery store if they have samples out. "Oh, these new cheese samples look good. Have you had a chance to try them?" It's an easy way to engage a fellow shopper.
And that question, "Are you much of a cook yourself?" can be adapted easily. If you're talking about a movie, you could ask, "Are you much of a film buff yourself?"
Or if someone mentions gardening, "Are you much of a gardener yourself?" It shows interest in their hobbies without being nosy.
Then, "I couldn't help but overhear," is useful for gently inserting yourself into a discussion. At a bookstore, if someone is talking about a new release, "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear you mentioning that new thriller."
In a doctor's waiting room, if two people are discussing a local charity event, you might say, "Sorry, I couldn't help but overhear. I actually volunteered for that last year."
Finally, the polite exit, It was good talking with you. After a brief chat with a cashier, thanks for your help, it was good talking with you.
Or even when leaving a casual get-together with friends, all right, I'm heading out. It was good talking with everyone. These phrases simply work everywhere.
They truly do. Now, let's explore how you can adjust your language to sound either more relaxed or more polite in different social situations.
It's all about picking the right words for the right moment. For example, instead of "I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting," which is quite polite.
You could go with a more relaxed, "Hey, I'm Iris," or even "Hi, I'm Iris. Haven't seen you around before."
Exactly, instead of "Have you had a chance to try the appetizers?" For a more relaxed vibe, you might just say, "Tried the appetizers yet?"
Dropping a few words can instantly make it sound more casual, perfect for friends or people your age at a low-key event.
And when asking about someone's interests, "Are you much of a cook yourself?" is polite. A more relaxed version could be, "So, do you cook much?"
See how removing much of a and yourself makes it shorter and less structured, signaling a more laid-back conversation.
Yes, and for joining a conversation, "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear," is quite polite. If it's a very casual group, you might just jump in with, "Oh, Italy, I was just there."
That's a good point. Sometimes a direct, enthusiastic entry works if the atmosphere is very informal and friendly.
And for wrapping things up, "It was good talking with you" is a solid, polite choice. For something more relaxed, try "nice chat" or "good seeing you."
The key is to observe the situation and the people you're talking to. Match their energy and word choice.
Your tone of voice also plays a big role. A warm, friendly tone can make even a more direct phrase sound perfectly pleasant.
Absolutely. An open posture and a genuine smile can make any interaction feel more approachable and less intimidating.
Don't be afraid to experiment a little. The more you practice, the more naturally you'll find the right balance for any conversation.
Excellent advice, Ernesto. And on that note of practice, let's put our skills to the test with some rapid-fire scenarios. I'll throw out a situation, and you give us the perfect quick response.
Sounds like fun, Iris. I'm ready for the challenge.
All right, first up, you're at a casual gathering, you just introduced yourself and asked, "Are you a friend of Mark's?" And they reply with just, "Yeah." What's your next move to keep that conversation from ending?
I'd try, "Oh, nice. How do you two know each other?" It's still low pressure and invites them to share a bit more detail.
That's a smart follow-up. Okay, scenario 2, you're chatting at a snack table. You've commented on the food, they've responded, but you feel the conversation stalling. How do you pivot easily?
I'd shift to the general environment, something like, "This is quite a turnout tonight, isn't it?" Or "Great music they've got playing." It keeps things light.
Perfect. Now, our third scenario. You hear two people enthusiastically discussing a recent trip to, say, Japan. You've never been there yourself. How do you politely join without feeling like you're butting in?
I'd use, "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear you mentioning Japan. It sounds incredible. What was your favorite part of the trip?" This shows interest even if I lack personal experience.
Excellent. Those quick responses are exactly what our listeners need to feel more confident. Now, for our lightning-fast recap, what are your top 3 high-value tips from today's episode, Ernesto?
First, use observations about your shared environment, like the food or music. Second, ask open-ended questions that invite more than a yes or no answer. And third, always offer a polite closing remark like, "It was good talking with you."
Excellent, concise advice. That's all the time we have for today on English Unlocked. A huge thank you to Ernesto for breaking down small talk so perfectly.
It was my pleasure, Iris. I hope everyone feels more prepared to connect easily in English.
For even more practical tips to boost your English fluency, be sure to check out our podcast, Double Your Vocabulary. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. We'll talk to you next time.